collectif pour former les générations futures.
Déjà ouf. Ah ben 51. It's okay.
831. 831.
Ok, merci. Ok. 455. 455.
La maison.
Pour le son, ce son.
Welcome back to Le Grand Bonheur as the BMW IBU World Cup weekend continues here in the stunning Haute-Savoie department. 60 of our best female athletes in the sprint qualifying for today's 2.5 kilometre pursuit. And it's 5 times around the 2 kilometre course. We've got 4 variations, the majority of which we've seen so far in this final stop before the Christmas break. Alongside myself, Ellen Ellard once again is former Team USA biathlete Chad Saumiller. And Chad, this stop didn't feature last season. We are back. We're delighted to be back in the Alps. We love coming here. The athletes love coming here. And once again, conditions absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it's not going to be about difficult ski preparation. It's not going to be about wind on the range. The range has a little flutter of wind right now, but this is the perfect conditions. So you actually, it ups the pressure to be perfect at biathlon.
And already a lot of weight on the shoulders of the French athletes. 2 very successful days already. Justine Bressard-Boucher wearing bib number 1, the only female French athlete to win here twice. Athlete to win here, France, or once even.
Yeah.
She did it again after doing so in 2017, and we can take a look at our top 3. Anna-Maria Lampic, what a day it was for her yesterday. Obviously a quick turnaround in terms of getting some rest tonight. The men have had an extra day, but a first podium in her career for Anna-Maria Lampic. Franziska Preuss, well, her exceptional form continues this season. She'll be starting just 1 second behind the wearer of bib number 1, and that is the Frenchwoman Justine Bressard-Boucher. But Franziska Preuss, what an incredible season. Her first time shooting clean as well. She'll want to continue that good form on the skis as well as in the range. And bib number 1, a huge victory yesterday that really has sparked this event into life. Of course, French success earlier today as well. 20,000 fans expected just today alone. And we can take a look at the start list. Apart from the top three, Chad, eyes really drawn to Julia Simon, the world champion in both the sprint and pursuit. And you have to say, despite being 38 seconds down, if she does anywhere close to what she did in Hopfilzen and what we've seen her do over and over again, she is definitely within a shot of the podium, if not the victory here today.
I think Bib 7, she is a favorite among the leaders. She's 38 seconds back, and she has won 6 pursuits in her career. One of them she started from bib number 1. The rest of them was well outside bib 1. In fact, 3 was the closest to 1, but she was still 32 seconds back there. She's 38 back today. Every one of her victories beyond that was more than 40 seconds back. She came from 42 back, 46 back, a minute back, and a minute 4 back for those 4 other victories she's had. Again, 38 seconds back. She's a favorite. But she's going to have to beat a Preuss who's on a roll, because Preuss is sandwiched by 2 very poor shooters. Andrea Milalampic is under 60% on the day. She goes third. And Justine Bressa-Boucher, just 78% this season so far. So Preuss is also in a good position.
And, well, this is exactly as Preuss comes into some really good shooting form. Shooting clean yesterday, the first time in individual competition that she'd done that so far this season. There's a wave from the French woman who we are all keeping a very keen eye on. She fought back from well down the order, over 60 seconds she was back to finish 6th in the pursuit in Hopfilzen, and her best individual finish so far this season, starting 7th today, and well, you bet she's going to improve that best so far this season. Justine Bressa-Boucher wearing bib number 1, but only 1 second between her and Franziska Preuss, who looks very relaxed, doesn't she, Chad? Every time we see her, a big smile on her face, and she's in such good form, and it looks like she's just enjoying it.
92% shooting, skiing with almost everybody except this woman in the field, but this woman can't touch Preuss on the shooting range. Anna-Maria Lampic flying on the skis. Julia Zima, a great shooter. I think yesterday was an anomaly for Zima, a great performance for her late in her career, but really bib 7 and bib 2 are the ones to watch.
Yep, Julia Zima, a first flower ceremony in 4 years, 34 years old. Good shooting form so far this season. And we are primed and ready to go here in Le Grand Bonnard, back in the Alps after a season away. And this crowd noisy, expectant, and it's Bressa-Boucher who will get us underway. Quickly followed by Franziska Preuss. The yellow bib has her eyes on the number 1 of Bressa-Boucher. And now we have a wait. 14 seconds. Anna-Maria Lampic pushes away. Julia Zima just 5 seconds behind her.
I believe Lampic has to be patient. She can't use her ski speed yet. She needs to get down the 10. If she can get 10 for 10 in this prone, which is her best choice of going clean, she could be in this a factor late in the race still.
And pushing away together, Julia Simon and Kamila Zuk. Really impressive day yesterday for the Polish woman, who finds herself wearing bib number 8 and will try and stay in tow behind Julia Simon.
Hanna Augenthaler there off of her best performance ever for Italy in 9th.
Same as well for Malin Kakaido of Norway. As the Norwegian team, they really need a boost. And Kakaido finishing 11th yesterday, the 21-year-old starting to come into good form. Ella Halverson just coming into picture, and behind her, Elvira Erberg, who finds herself with a huge amount of work to do, wearing bib 32 after such a strong start to the season. Similarly for Lou Jean Minot, who pushes away, starting just under 90 seconds behind Justine Bressa-Boucher. Lou Jean Minot, well, it's largely out of her hands here.
Yeah, both Jean Minot and Elvira Erberg have to hope for a psychological battle at the front of the field, as you see Dieter Uren, the first of 3 Americans to qualify for this pursuit, first time in a while, and the very first time that bib number 59, Grace Castonguay from the United States, will start a pursuit competition in her World Cup career.
So Julia Tannheimer as well, one of the promising German athletes We're expecting to see her start today, but we do believe that there's been some sickness within, well, a number of camps. And so Tannheimer, one of the DNSs.
There's Lampic now. I was going to say about Uberg and Jean-Monod. They can team up together if they stay clean through 2 shooting stages and just try to weave their way through the field. But, you know, with Preuss such a good shooter this season, it's going to be hard to make a dent on the lead. They might have a shot at the podium if things get tough at the front of the field on the shooting range.
20-year-old Selina Glotien. The German wearing bib number 5. Already ahead of Julia Zima.
Annemarie Lampic staying 14.9 seconds back at the first time check. So I think Lampic heard me tell her to take it easy. She's definitely taking it a little bit easy.
But look at the depth of the crowds. They've been out since the crack of dawn to try and secure those favourable positions. And it just really adds to the atmosphere, particularly on these steep climbs.
Lampic actually losing time to the leader. She's 2 seconds back. But she knows she doesn't need to spend her energy right now. She just needs to keep it even and try to put down those first. She's solid at the prone position comparatively to the standing. She's 67%, which approaches 70, but she's only 53% accurate in the standing position as Lampic.
Vanessa Voigt wearing bib 6. So through the 1 kilometre check mark in 6th. And 28.8 seconds down, but certainly one to watch, one of the Germans who's having a really strong start to the season.
And she's lost 5 seconds. She's 23 seconds at the start. Again, 3 to 5 seconds, nothing to really worry about or write home about. But I see Suvi Minkinen making a little bit of a move there from bib 18 for Finland. She's been hot this year. She's currently ranked 7th in the overall standings, the highest she's ever been by quite a bit.
Yeah, strong and consistent Suvi Minkinen. As we see the Swedes now come through the picture, Ella Halverson and Elvira Öberg working together. Lots of work for them to do.
Jean-Monod in that pack as well, but in 30th spot. And now, a little bit of a flexing of the muscle by Bryce Boucher. And Preuss knows the pace that she's going to ski. She's going to let Bryce Boucher go and just give up a few seconds here on the ski course. Smart tactic by Preuss.
And we also know from talking to plenty of the coaches over the course of the last couple of days that they're briefing their athletes to really stay in their lane in terms of focusing on their race when around French athletes, just because of the sheer volume of this crowd. And you wonder whether Preuss is just thinking, right, we know it's going to be loud when we get in the range. Let's just give her a bit of time and I'll come in and I'll do my thing.
Well, Preuss has been there and done that. The one victory she had before this season was in a mass start in Ruhpold, in her hometown. She's faced the same music, but she's been the focus of the Roars.
So Bryce Boucher dropping down into the prone position. The first of 4 shooting stages, 2 in the prone position, 2 standing. And a miss on the first of Bryce Boucher. Preuss, 2 for 2. And Franziska Preuss goes clean. Bryce Boucher will be once around the penalty loop. Keep your eyes on Annemarie Lampic. Can she keep up her good shooting form? It was the prone position she was particularly strong in yesterday. And this is nice from Annemarie Lampic. One miss right at the end, but still a vast improvement of what we've seen from her over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, 4 out of 5 is good, but she needs to go 5 out of 5 prone to kind of bank that good shooting time back from the rest of the field. Here comes Bryce Boucher now.
Julia Zima goes clean. Simon clean as well. That's what the French Roars are for. Vanessa Voigt clean.
With the time back now of Simon. Started the day 38 back, seeing 35 back. So not a huge amount of time made up, but she's in 4th.
But positionally wise, she has jumped up. Hannah Ockenthaler clean. Jean Richard, who has plenty of fans around the course today. She's gone 5 for 5. Ida Lean as well. Lehtinen. A miss for Elvira Öberg and Sala Anderson as well.
Jean-Monod with a miss too, further up the graphic. That's not a good sign. Those two are they didn't have any room to have a miss, especially in the first shooting stage.
McLaughlin's going clean. She's spoken a lot over the course of the last couple of days about the pressure and the noise here, but still performing really well this season in the form of her life, the 22-year-old wearing bib number 24 today.
Preuss now with 20 seconds on Brysa Boucher. Julia Zima of Ukraine in third, 35 seconds back. Zima, despite being perfect, just losing 8 seconds to Preuss in that first round. Here's the shooting of Brysa Boucher. The first shot was a miss. Everything else is right in the center. I think that was just operator error. Here's Preuss, wearing the hometown badge of Ruhpolding on her site. Obviously looking forward to the second weekend of January to race at home. One of the hot stops of the Biathlon World Cup, and she trains there day in and day out. And you know, if they're not here, the Germans from Ruhpolding are all cheering back home.
Yep, and well, they would love to see her travel to Ruhpolding wearing the yellow bit. And a big opportunity today for her to open the gap on Lou Jean Monod. 98 points it currently stands at, and particularly where the positioning of Jean Monod, you imagine that gap will grow and grow today. Let's take a look at the time as Brysa Boucher comes through, 2.7 kilometers, 18.3 seconds. Franziska Preuss holds the advantage.
And that gap matters because at this venue, as you're saying, the yelling is for the French. They're getting a roar every shot. And if Preuss can have 3 or 4 shots down before any roars happen, it's just a psychological advantage. She kind of surfs that emotional wave ahead of the crowd. After shooting 1, it was 20 seconds to Brysa Boucher. Then at 2.7 kilometers, it was 18.3. Now it's down to 15.4. So that time coming down, Brysa Boucher slowly pulling the time out of Preuss.
Julia Simon following Anna-Maria Lampic. Lampic with 1 miss. Julia Simon with clean shooting tucked in behind her. And then this trailing pack of Vanessa Voigt, who's leading the way and actually started to really open a gap on Julia Zima. Anna Magnusson as well, wearing bib 10 today. She is very fond of this course as well, has had plenty of success here in the past.
Julia Simon, the one thing she has to watch now is not getting pulled offside. She can't start going too fast because she's skiing with Anna-Maria Lampic and the crowd is urging her on. She's got 2 stimuli that could push her balance of the shooting range over the edge. It's Lampic on the skis and the crowd pumping her up.
Selina Glotianas drops down the order, clean shooting, but you wonder whether there's some tired legs out there today. The 3rd stop on the IBU World Cup this season. We've also got to remember we had that extended start in Contiolahti.
Both the Lampic-Simon chase group and Justine Brysa Boucher gaining on Preuss. Preuss just keeping her cool, though, heading into shooting number 2, the last of the 2 prone stages. She was perfect and had a great cadence. Nothing looked like it was shaking her the first time around.
Moves her glasses up to her head. Here comes Brysa Boucher. Bib number 1, cheered into the final corners before the range. Franziska Preuss will be the first to drop down into the prone position.
Has barely missed a shot this year. She's 98% accuracy from the prone position as Preuss.
11.7 seconds, the gap coming into shooting. Franziska Preuss. Final prone shoot.
She moved her right elbow there. I don't like when that happens, when they move the elbow after they've stepped on the mat, but she's still shooting well.
She's shooting incredibly well, and that's 5 out of 5, clean in the prone position. Let's watch Brysa Boucher. A first miss, so 2 misses on the day so far. Franziska Preuss is away. It's another miss for Brysa Boucher. Simon with a miss as well. 2 misses for Simon, not handling the pressure particularly well. Anna-Maria Lampic gets her first shots away.
Did Lampic pull it off?
This is really good for Anna-Maria Lampic, who goes clean in the prone position.
This is a huge performance for Anna-Maria Lampic. It's not for the win necessarily. She's already trailing by 30 seconds. But the other people around her, if Anna-Maria Lampic can just be in her own world for the rest of the race, she's got a great opportunity to pull off another podium today.
This is an excellent performance. She's really showing that she's stepped up in the prone position. Anna Magnusson, could we see something from the Swede here? Julia Zima clean as well. Vanessa Voigt, Hanna Ockenthaler, Richard Halverson, Lehtinen as well, the Finn, who's in exceptional form, the form of her life. Keep your eyes on Suvi Minkinen as well. Lena Haki-Gloss, 5 out of 5.
Preuss Boucher comes out of the loop in 7th now. Lean in 8th. Alcantara still in 9th after 2 clean shooting stages. And then Lehtinen has moved up from 13th to 11th. To put it in perspective, Lehtinen, who's in your shot there, her best performance before yesterday was 36th.
It's really strong from Venla Lehtinen, who had increased her ski speed and was just waiting for the shooting to catch up. Very similar to Anna-Maria Lampic. It's taken a little bit more time for her, but really in the prone position, this is really encouraging signs.
She can't afford not to take that time. That's what she needs. She needs to just eject herself emotionally and mentally from her environment when she comes to the range. If she can continue to do that, we've seen her shoot 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5 standing, but she's never put clean, prone, and standing together for a great performance. This is the best shooting we've ever seen in competition by Anna-Maria Lampic.
So just in front of us, but well down the order, Lou Jean Monod has just exited shooting, 1 minute 46.7 down on Franziska Preuss, the leader. She is up though to 27th, but that time gap is just growing and growing and growing.
It's huge, 146 back with almost half the race in the bag. I wouldn't look for anything heroic from Jean Monod today.
Yeah, her worst finish since Oslo 21-22 yesterday.
And Simone, with those 2 misses from the second shooting stage, dropped to 12th place, 109 back. So the French not looking particularly hopeful at the moment.
But Anna-Maria Lampic coming up to 4.7 kilometers, 23.5 seconds the gap. So Franziska Preuss with a penalty loop on Anna-Maria Lampic, but Preuss is in really good shooting form, has shot clean so far. She can afford to drop one if needed.
I'm looking at the time, and Lampic took 9 seconds out of Preuss in that last less than a kilometer. If I was the Slovenian coach, I'd say, settle down, you've got time, just make sure the first standing shoot goes well. This is not where Anna-Maria Lampic wants to press. She wants to press later in the race once those standing shots have gone down.
Yep.
50 seconds back to Preuss Boucher.
The gap is closing though, as you rightly point out, Chad. It's not huge, it's just under a second, 9/10 of a second. The gap to Preuss is closed. And well, here is a following pack that includes Preuss Boucher, Anna Magnusson.
You know, we saw Lampic's coach talking to her on that hill. I think he let her know. It's easy to get excited when you're as strong as Anna-Maria Lampic. Let her know that she took a huge chunk of time in that 7/10 of a kilometer out of the leader Preuss. Said, hey, let's settle down a little bit. You can do better in this competition if you keep it kind of chill.
Someone else who we haven't mentioned too much so far, Ida Lean, clean shooting through the first 2 shooting stages, wearing bib 14. She's up to 4th after being recalled into the Norwegian team after performing well in the IBU Cup, but also the injury and the just general fatigue around the Norwegian team. And this is exactly what the Norwegian team needs, the likes of her and Maren Kakaida, to really step up in the void left by Ingrid Landmark-Tandevold.
Yeah, the good news for Norway is Ida Lean is in 4th. The bad news is prone shooting's over. She's an 89% prone shooter. Yeah. She's only a 63% standing shooter. So, you know, I'll believe it when I see it with Ida Lean, but she's in a good position to be a factor in the race now.
And Ella Halverson as well. A name that we, since that opening week in Kontiolahti, we've been keeping an extra eye out for. The young Swede.
The Ella Halverson, on the other hand, is a 90% overall shooter, 97 from prone, 84% standing. She can keep it clean, and there's some misses at the front of the field. If Preuss has a mind bug go into her ear and mess with her on the shooting range these last two shooting stages, then it's open to a lot of people still. You got Richard there, you got Ella Halverson, Anna Magnuson at 51 seconds back. There's a chase pack here, ready to pounce if Preuss even hiccups.
Preuss into the range once again for the first of two standing shoots. Anna-Maria Lampic rounding the corner.
Preuss 85% accurate in this position.
The gap now 18.5 seconds. So Anna-Maria Lampic closing the gap significantly. But here's Franziska Preuss, and she's quick.
Oh,
there's one miss. So once around the penalty loop, an extra 150 meters. Anna-Maria Lampic raises her rifle.
That was barely a miss. She just wasn't on the target. The trigger squeeze was fine, and you could tell she was not affected by it, but there's a miss.
A first miss for Anna-Maria Lampic. Needs to really compose herself here, but she's doing that so far. Another miss well wide.
It's actually a pretty solid standing shooting for her. The barrel movement on the third shot was, she just jumped on it. You could see the barrel drop. And
a look over the shoulder from Lampic as Preuss comes out of the penalty loop. A miss for Brassard-Boucher, another miss for Brassard-Boucher. Good start from Richard. Magnuson has missed, miss from Ockenthaler. Ella Halverson really struggling with three misses. Ida Lean with three misses as well. Richard has gone clean, and the French crowd love it. Voigt clean.
Time gap is growing, but it's a French woman in second, 26.7 seconds back. That's a great performance by Richard.
Well, she has plenty of fans out on the course today. Banners, flags, signs everywhere on pretty much every corner. A lot of support for the 22-year-old.
She started the day 47 seconds back, and Richard now finds herself in second with almost half that time gone. She's 26 seconds back now. Lehtinen moves into fifth for Finland, clean on the day, and Magnuson's still clean at 46 back. Lampic comes through after the two penalty loops into eighth, or sixth, excuse me.
So Jean Richard has never featured in a flower ceremony before, let alone a podium. Her best finish, 8th in the sprint in Oberhof last season, but is currently in second, 26.7 seconds behind Franziska Preuss. She does, however, have Julia Simon, who has two misses to her name, breathing down her neck.
Richard, Voigt, and Lehtinen, the top three, the only three clean in the top five. Lampic with 3. Magnuson, Batoska, Fialkova, and Dimitrenko, all with 0. Batova-Fialkova has moved up from 31st to 8th with clean shooting from Slovakia.
So back with our leader, Franziska Preuss.
You see Dimitrenko in 9th. She started in 22nd spot. Other big movers, well, Dorothea Veer started in 20th. She's got one miss, she's in 16th. Yulia Zhim has dropped all the way from 4th to 13th with just a single miss. Through the 6.7K now. Preuss all by her lonesome.
Jean Richard now in behind Julie Simon as they come up towards 6.7 kilometers. The gap exiting shooting 3 was 26.7, so the gap has opened up. Julia Simon leading the charge, but Franziska Preuss is holding strong out front.
Both Simon and Preuss are fast shooters. They're both good standing shooters. Preuss at 85% this season. Julia Simon at 79, but very rapid and very aggressive. Jean Richard in 3rd place. She's at 87% standing shooter, 98 points, 97, 92% overall. So Richard, the best of the 3 at the front of the field in the standing position.
And wearing the blue bib as well, as you can see, the under 23 on her side. That gap still sitting around the 29-second mark. Anna-Maria Lampic is holding 4, 3 misses on the day.
And staying even. She didn't gain any time or lose any time in the last time check.
No.
Smart skiing. I think that's smart for her. She's got to, everything for Lampic is to hit the target to the next stage. If she can do that, anything's still possible. At 37 seconds back, if Preuss hiccups at all, Lampic, Richard, Simon, all able to catch Preuss still. Preuss not out of the woods by any means.
No, she will need to stay as perfect as possible in this final shooting stage. Can't really afford more than one miss.
He's up here, Oberg, moving up to 18th with 2 misses. Then Haki Gross making a little bit of a move too, from 33rd up to 13th with a miss even.
Yeah, and just in front of Villa Oberg, Sophie Chavot on home snow, competing of course in her hometown. A lonely journey so far for Franziska Preuss, who has had to do the vast majority of this race all by herself.
And the two French chasers working together. Simone with that distinct cutoff shirt. She likes to wear short sleeves when she's racing. It's kind of her MO. And Lampic making up the gap. She was 37 seconds back of the leaders.
And here, Franziska Preuss, wearing the yellow bib, comes into the final shooting stage. The gap at the last time check, around 29 seconds.
Oh, barely a hit. Solid second. Solid third. Right, X-ring in the 4th shot.
And for a 3rd career victory, Franziska Preuss. 5 out of 5 in the final shooting stage. Just 1 miss on the day. Her shooting this season has been exceptional, but 3 athletes side by side. Anna-Maria Lampic finally raising her rifle up to her eye. Julia Simon, 5 out of 5 in the final shoot. Jean-Richard, a miss. Keep your eyes on Anna-Maria Lampic, a miss for her as well. 2 misses for Lampic. And that's 3, so Lampic out of the race for a podium. Vanessa Voigt, 4 out of 4, now 5.
For the final podium spot, and she may have to race Vendla Lehtinen. She's 4 for 4. Lehtinen perfect on the day, and she goes clean, 20 for 20.
Well, that is exceptional from Vendla Lehtinen, who continues to break her own boundaries. It might not be enough for a podium today, but Vendla Lehtinen, this is going to be another huge personal best. Never finished inside the top 30 until yesterday.
And Jima with 19 for 20 in 6th. Kirkeide also 19 for 20 in 7th.
Dorothea Vela with only 1 miss on the day, climbing up from 20th up to 8th. Elvira Erberg, 2 misses. Anna Magnusson, 2 misses as well, but a huge climb. 22 places Elvira Erberg has had to make up just to finish potentially inside the top 10 if she can hold off the likes of Haki Gloss and Glottian behind her.
Yeah, she went clean in the standing position. Oberg missed 1 each from the prone and then is now in the top 10. But it might not be a podium, but she's still trying to guard her spot in the overall standings of the World Cup as well, because Preuss is pulling away from everybody today. Going to widen that gap for that yellow bib on Lou Jean Monod and Elvira Oberg.
And also, which is just seems so bizarre to say, just a 3rd career victory.
It's hard to believe that she hasn't won much more than she has at a much higher rate. She's so talented. I feel like we've waited a decade to see what Franziska Preuss is capable of, but it's sure nice to see it happening for her.
And her first victory here, of course, she hadn't finished on the podium until yesterday in this stunning venue, and one that she will have fond memories of.
Now the race for the podium. Simone has got 2nd wrapped up.
Simon, 22.4 seconds behind Franziska Preuss. Let's keep our eyes on who comes over the hill first, and it is Vanessa Voigt. Chased on by the German coach, and now Jean Richard, the 22-year-old, wearing the blue bib. Venla Lehtinen isn't far behind her. A huge performance for the Finn.
Lehtinen looking better than Richard. She's got much snappier kick. She's moving quicker. And in the background is Kirkaidet. She's moved past Julia Zima into 6th. So fight for the flower ceremony is Venla Lehtinen in the navy blue and light blue sleeves. Kirkaidet's best ever career finish in a World Cup is 11th. She's well inside that as well.
Yep, that of course yesterday in the sprint. So a really strong performance to come back just a day later. The Norwegian, she's 21 years old still.
It's a bit of a theme right now. The young athletes who are making their first major steps in the sport, maybe not even young. Venla Lehtinen is 29 years old. She's been on the World Cup for a good 7 years, and now she's the first time in the top 10. Simone just enjoying the crowd, waving to them, knowing that she has nobody to fight for first or for third, so she's going to be comfortable enjoying her time.
And still, with Julia Simon certainly embracing the atmosphere, the gap has got bigger behind. Vanessa Voigt isn't closing any distance.
Voigt just trying to stay ahead of Richard and Lehtinen. Lehtinen looked like she was charging at that last time check. Still a nice gap, though, to her.
Look over the shoulder. She knows she can enjoy this. Franziska Preuss, who has been really embracing this season. A thumbs up to her team in the range. What an atmosphere. Just a 3rd career win for Franziska Preuss, who really is the queen of consistency this season. You cannot keep her off the podium. And for the 2nd time this season, she stands on top spot.
And for the first time in her career, she can do no wrong.
She just one miss on the day. Julia Simon more than secured her 2nd spot as she came out of the range. And the French on the podium for a 3rd race in a row here in Annecy. And the crowd, well, they love it. A shake of the hands between Franziska Preuss and Julia Simon. And, well, the Germans really are the team to beat in the IBU World Cup this season. Vanessa Voigt, another podium for her this season. Jean Richard, a best finish for the French youngster.
And a photo finish between Elvira Uberg and Lehtinen for the flower ceremony. It looks like Lehtinen just got bumped out of the flowers.
Yeah, well, Vera Uberg's had to work incredibly hard just to make the flower ceremony, and when you look at that from where she had to come from, going bib 32, that's quite exceptional. Dorothea Vera over the line in 9th. Anna Magnusson rounding out the top 10. Oceane Michelon, 11th. Brecha Boucher, who started bib number 1, 7 misses on the day. Anna-Maria Lampert, she started so well in the prone position, but that shooting standing still needs some work. 13th for her, 6 misses. Lou Jean Minot, another who's had to work so hard just to get to 18th. 2 misses for her, 96.7 seconds behind Franziska Preuss, who at times she's battled so hard with over the first 3 stages of this season. But she hasn't come close to the consistency that Franziska Preuss is exhibiting. And you just hope that she can keep this up, because after everything she's been through over the course of the last few years, 2 seasons in a row, having to end her season early, illness, injury, multiple surgeries, Franziska Preuss is enjoying what she's doing, and it is making excellent viewing. Well, a stunning backdrop here at Le Grand Bernard. Julia Simon, who loves competing here and loves this event, sandwiched between two Germans who are leading the way in this resurgent German team. "40 of the athletes over the line, 20 still out on the course. Maya Klotens gaining 4 places over the line in 20th. As we see her walk out of shot, someone who's been really open about the challenges that this course and the crowd here pose. Very open that she wasn't feeling particularly good before the race yesterday.
Yeah, but Klotens is really a bit of an inspiration this year. 22 years of age, fairly young. Belgium, not a real big country to expect biathletes to come out of. And she's had a 12th and a 19th before her 20th or 19th place finish today.
Yeah.
So that's 3 top 20s for her this season.
Yeah, she's saying that she's almost better when there's no crowd, so it's a total hubbub when there's this French crowd here. Also added that she's not sure humans are made for going out and competing in this kind of style, but she's doing it exceptionally well and more than one to watch for the future.
Elvira Oberg right now topping the pursuit time, so the time set on course today at 28:43.9, 15 seconds faster than Julia Simon. And Oceane Michelin in the 3rd spot for the course time of the day, or pursuit time, I should say.
Yeah, so by any means not the finish position that Elvira Oberg would have wanted, and I mean that before, of course, the finish in the pursuit, but she will, in the sprint even, but she will take some money home with her as the fastest neck time. Extra prize money being introduced this season. Just saw Leah Meyer over the line in 44th, thanking the crowd from Switzerland who have made their way over the border, just 45-minute drive away from Geneva. Vakamova climbing 7 places over the line in 50th. Inka Hämäläinen, who celebrated her 19th birthday on Tuesday, crossing the line in 51st, climbing from 58th. Just her 9th World Cup start. And we'll look back at the celebrations from Franziska Preuss. A dominant and incredibly well-controlled performance today, just 1 miss in the range. And at the moment, she cannot be matched. Julia Simon tried. She loves competing in this event. But even with the advantage and the boost of the home crowd, it was Franziska Preuss who crossed the line with a 27.3 second advantage.
Been seeing the masks pulled out today with the German team. We've heard some whispers of maybe some illness. We weren't sure if we were going to see it, Franziska Preuss on the start line today. Thankfully she wasn't. She seemed in perfectly good health.
Yep. Well, it's always tough when you hear rumours of illness within a camp, and you spend the rest of the evening wondering to what the extent the illness is. And we did have a number of DNSs today. Of course, they include Julia Tannheimer, the young German Carolina Norton as well, who was due to wear bib 55. But the Norwegians do have 1 athlete in the flower ceremony, and that is Malin Kirkeide, with a new personal best finish.
Margie Fried from the United States should be the last competitor across the finish line. 8 misses on the day, but still smiling. These 2 athletes really just infants in the sport.
you love to see it, don't you? The crowd really showing all the love to the final finishers, regardless of the race. They've made sure that in each event they've cheered everyone over the line, and showing a lot of love for the Americans there and a lot of support.
Both of them just in their single-digit number of starts in the World Cup, or the IBU World Cup, and only a second year for Margie Freed. She rapidly rose to the IBU Cup into a World Cup spot last season in her first year doing biathlon.
So let's take a look at the results with all the athletes over the line in the women's 10-kilometre pursuit, our final race of the day here at Le Grand Bonnard. Franziska Preuss up one place to take victory, just her third career victory. Julia Simon climbing 5, 2 misses on the day. She takes second spot. Vanessa Voigt up 3. Jean-Richard will keep a strong grasp on that blue bib. Dorothea Vela, another of the big climbers, Oceane Michelon as well. And lots of green arrows, which is, of course, what we love to see.
Yeah, Dieter Earn up 19 positions to finish 22nd from 41st today. She's perfect shooting on the range for Irwin. That's always a feather in the cap, a 20 for 20.
Hannah Okentala, we just saw that. She started so well, going clean in the prone position. She's shot clean in all her sprints so far this season, but just waiting for that form to translate into the 4 shooting stage races. Kat Hämäläinen, long after her 19th birthday, 4 misses on the day, but up 7 places to finish 51st. And well, we can take a look at the overall score competition. Franziska Preuss tightening her grasp on the blue bib, yellow bib even. Lou Jean Minot down to 3rd. Elvira Urberg, who briefly held that yellow bib in Contiolate after a really strong start to the season there. She's back up into 2nd. Jean-Richard leads the way in the under-23 blue bib competition.
Preuss will go into the holiday break regardless of what happens in the mass start tomorrow. And if she is, in fact, fighting something, we may not see her on the start because her lead is now massive at 490 points to Elvira Urberg at 337. There's no way that she can be overtaken before the break for that yellow bib. So she will go into the 2025 calendar year wearing that yellow bib again.
And particularly as we will head to Germany in the new year, I'm sure plenty of, if not all the German fans, getting very excited about the fact that Franziska Preuss will be wearing that blue bib when we go into the new year.
So Sophie Chavot, lots of fans here. She thrilled them 2 years ago, but has had a rough go of it this week. We're probably just the pressure of being at home, but one person who hasn't is this one here. Franziska Preuss is on task, in shape, and unshakable.
Franziska, congratulations. That was one more amazing competition from you. How did you feel today and how satisfied are you?
I'm really, really satisfied. I felt really bad yesterday, so I'm happy that, yeah, my body health gets better and better now. And yeah, the last shooting was a really big challenge. The French crowd were cheering, but not for me. But it makes also the senses sharp that I hit the black targets. And yeah, of course, I was a little bit afraid in the last loop of Julia because she's so strong. So yeah, I just focus on myself, let the ski glide, and I'm really happy about today.
Your second win this season. You've been in top 6 all the competitions, so you've been very consistent. What clicked for you this time?
I think the good training during the whole summer. I think I made a lot of right decisions in my daily training. I just focused on myself. I didn't make much compromises in my training, so it's nice that it worked.
It really pays off. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Ciao.
Well, really good to hear that Franziska Preuss is feeling better. There was the rumours of illness within the German camp, and as she said there, she didn't feel very good yesterday, and as you could certainly see that after the race.
Yeah, it's so critical to maintain your health, and I think that mask she's wearing is less about maybe her spreading germs and more about her making sure nothing gets into her body between now and the end of the racing tomorrow.
Yep, we will of course be back tomorrow for 2 mass start races, and Franziska Preuss so consistent this season, never out of the top 6, and that is including in the relays as well. In individual competition, she's been no further down than 5th. And a feat that no one else has been able to sustain. And Chad, we spoke about it, well, plenty of times over the course of this season, but particularly yesterday as well, with 2 really big names in the women's side of things missing, Elisa Vitozzi and Ingrid Landmark-Tandervold. Franziska Preuss has stepped up and said, cool, I'll take this on then.
Yeah, I'll step into your shoes. And, and she could have been here even with them present. It doesn't mean, just because they're gone doesn't take anything away from what Franziska Preuss has done. We've known all along that she can compete with the highest level in the sport. But the vacuum of those 2 has definitely made it a little bit easier, I think, for her to get the win today. If you think Vitozzi had been here and Tandervold, they're both great pursuers. And might have been a tougher mental battle for Preuss had they been here. We'll find out after the new year, because we know Vitozzi will be back in Oberhof. They've said so already.
So it is 15 points she leads Vanessa Voigt from in the World Cup pursuit score as well. And where you see it there, the camaraderie between the Germans at the minute. Selina Grottian embracing Franziska Preuss. This is, well, a German team who are doing a lot of things right. And as we begin to prepare to head to Germany in the new year, it's certainly going to be some show when we come back from the Christmas break.
Well, the organizers in Oberhof and Ruhpolding are loving every minute of this first trimester of Biathlon World Cup, because it is just stoking the interest, at least on the women's side, of the German fans. And when the Germans are winning, they're going to show up in Ruhpolding and in Oberhof.
And we've been speaking to the organisers quite a lot of the Lenzerheide World Championships, and they expect that, well, if the great form continues into the new year and towards February, expect a lot of Germans to pack out the stands in Switzerland.
Yeah, it's a day's drive from the German border, so that makes it actually accessible for people not to have to necessarily buy hotel rooms in and around Lenzerheide, which could make the crowd swell, especially if the Germans are on a resurgence, as they seem to be.
And ever present in the flower ceremonies so far this season, Franziska Preuss, for the second time this season, leads our top 6 athletes out towards the podium.
Ladies and gentlemen, the award ceremony for the Biathlon Under World Cup in Annecy Partie Women.
Les commissaires de cette cérémonie protocolaire sont
The presenters for the award ceremony will be representing IBU, Ekaterina Napovska, IBU Executive Board Member. Representing the Biathlon Committee, Marcel Chazin, President of the Ottawa Department Council.
Presenting for the IBU is Ekaterina Napovska, 1998 Olympic champion in the individual.
Third place, representing Germany,
Vanessa Voigt on the podium once again in the 24-25 IBU World Cup season. The bronze medal hung around her neck. Her third place finish in a pursuit, and here's someone who you really struggle to keep off a podium when it comes to pursuit races. Julia Simon. A special moment with the home crowd. She's sandwiched between 2 Germans today. But for 3 races in a row now, the French have stood on the podium. Well, you just know with the success the French athletes have had today that tomorrow will be a bumper day in terms of fans out around the course and in the stands. But Franziska Preuss is on top of the world, and you can't keep her off the podium this season. She'll carry the yellow bib into the new year. How do you stop Franziska Preuss? Even when she admits she's not firing on all cylinders. Able to pull off a controlled and dominant performance. And she will be back in bib number 1 tomorrow as well for the women's mass start, 12.5 kilometres. But first up, we will have the men at 12:30 before the women at 2:45. Jean-Richard, what a day she's had. Her best finish by quite some margin. Her first ever flower ceremony. Her best before today was an 8th place finish in a sprint in Oberhof last season. And she tightens her grasp on the blue bib in front of the home crowd. Malenka Kaida as well, another big personal best performance for her today. Wearing bib number 11, that was a personal best for her in the sprint yesterday, and she's chopped that margin once again for her first flower ceremony. And are we starting to see Elvira Urberg bounce back from disappointment at the start of this week, and once again in Hochfilzen? Started so strongly this season. She's back in the flower ceremony, not on the podium, but had to work incredibly hard, wearing bib 32 today.
Well, with a mass start and a shot of the gun tomorrow, Elvira Urberg had the fastest pursuit time. So you have to take that into consideration. 15 seconds faster than Julia Simon. So consider her back. I think we can expect to see her fighting for the win tomorrow.
Yep, our final races before the Christmas break and our final races of our spectacular visit here to Le Grand Bonnat. We'll be back tomorrow at 12:30 for the men's 15-kilometre mass start and the women's at 2:45.